hot one today. That's your cup of tea, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's pretty. That's because it's that rose gold colour as well, isn't it? Jewellery cabinet.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
It is nice, isn't it?
It sounds random, but I'm going to buy this because they like it. Because they play shop with bags. Usually pay for the bag, yes. They don't play for the bag. I like this one.
Oh, they're nice.
I like this one.
That is.
I've got one of them.
Have you?
Got a grey stone.
Oh God, that's here.
I didn't realise you got back out now. They just walk up.
Dad? Still warm in here. Do you know, I never thought about it.
No.
£2 that. I never thought about it. I've got that transformer, which I couldn't put the fan in.
Yeah, what is that?
How much are your brooches?
£1.
Lovely.
Big ones. Little ones, this right small ones, do it 50 pence.
Awesome, thank you.
How much is that?
3. It's lovely, isn't it?
Które są delikatniejsze. No, tak myślałam. Przecież to mamy podobne do dzikie, ordynarne.
How much? £1.
Ile?
Thank you.
Dziękuję, kochani, bardzo.
That's pretty.
Straight floaty that, you know, with some like some chat jeans or something like that. It looks lovely.
God, I'm melting already.
It's really now.
It is, isn't it?
That,
It is.
yeah, that's some when
Mind
you
you,
study.
whether they'll got it right today, because they've not got it right last 2 days.
No, they haven't. It's
true.
been humid, but it certainly hasn't been a heat wave. Last
Not
2
yesterday.
days.
I thought yesterday were going to be really bright, but
Well, it was supposed to be.
and then it rained.
No rain. And then I looked at my forecast and it says, oh, rain. Oh, really?
You look on the morning, and there's no rain at all. And then when it starts raining, check your weather forecast and it says raining.
They've
just
updated
now.
it, yeah. Yeah. A couple of brooches in there. Oh, my fingers aren't working.
Just took them out.
You sure?
Yeah. I had a chip
You
out
don't
anyway.
want that, it's a wasp. You don't want that wasp. It's not nice.
Oh,
It's not nice food for you.
that one's pretty.
No, it's not.
Right, I'll take those two as well.
Right, so 5. Yeah, 7. That'd be 7.
7 altogether.
Yeah, I ain't got a
Awesome.
bag, I'm sorry.
For you.
No, you're all right. I've come prepared.
I love it. Thank you. Have a nice day. I'm getting too
A hot one.
Worst thing, I'll be packing it up.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm just going to leave it on drive.
Yeah,
I'm not unpacking. No, I'll lock the
Don't
can.
bother.
I'll have a can when I get it.
Aye, you do right. Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So you'll have seen a little bit of footage of the car boot. So that was last Wednesday. My parents like a good rummage around a car boot, so they invited me, and it wasn't too far away, about a 15-minute drive, and it's in a big playing field, and all the cars kind of park up on one side for the people that are visiting, and then there are like rows of cars that are selling. So We went, I think I got picked up about 9:30. It opened at 5 in the morning for the traders to set up. And then buyers could go in from, I don't know if it was 5:30, 6 o'clock. However, when we got there, it was absolutely rammed. It was really, really busy, and there was plenty of sellers, which was really good. Now, some people might think that going late to a car boot isn't really worth it, but it depends what you're looking for. So for me, I always keep my eye out for jewellery. So vintage costume jewellery, antique jewellery, and modern designer jewellery. And jewellery is often overlooked. So those that get there early are probably looking for precious metals, so silver and gold and that kind of thing. And I'm not really that interested in that kind of stuff. If I find it, then that's, you know, that's a bonus. But for me, I'm looking for costume jewellery. So all the quirky, different, funky, vintage stuff that other people leave behind. So I managed to pick this lot up. So a nice big bag full of all different kinds of bits. And this came to £24 altogether, which is, I have 29 items. So £24 divided by 29 is roughly 83p an item, which is amazing. And I got really good variety this time. So I got brooches, necklaces, earrings, bangles, and a ring. So a little bit of everything this time. So I shall pull a few pieces out and show you them. I'll probably pull my favourite pieces out, the more interesting pieces. And then what I'll do is I'll do what I usually do, lay everything out on a white sheet and do a pan round slowly so that you can see everything in detail. At one point my parents kind of wandered off, and my nephew was there as well, bless him, and little Holly, and they kind of wandered off and did their own thing because I was rummaging for jewellery. So let's have a look. So one of the first things I picked up, in fact I think you'll see it in the footage, I was rummaging in a little plastic basket that had all different bits and bobs in it, and these are the first things that I picked up. So just some kind of 80s clip-on earrings. See these quite often, the kind of cluster, beaded cluster clip-ons. Get them in all different colours and different types of beads. These are just a bit of plastic fantastic, and 20p for one pair and 50p for the other, so I couldn't pass those up. Sometimes if they're not anything special, then I will put these with other things and make a little collection and sell them that way rather than selling them individually. Now the next stall that I went to, the lady had tons of jewellery, so she had a whole stall full, and she had like jewellery boxes with it all spilling out, which looked really nice. So I spent a bit of time there actually. I think that's when I lost everybody else, they all wandered off. So I got quite a few pieces from her, brooches mainly. So we got this beautiful, almost looks like a sunflower brooch. And she said the larger brooches were £1, smaller brooches were 50p. And then actually, by the time I'd kind of got a few things together, she just gave me a price for the whole lot, which was lovely. Picked this one up. It's got one little stone missing, but as you know, that's not a problem. Isn't that beautiful? She's got one of the little stones on the edge there missing. So I shall replace that one. I picked this one up, and this says Channel Island Jewellery. So this is a handmade piece. And I think it's made to look like gemstone or pebbles. But it's made out of some kind of, I want to say clay or ceramic, something like that. I thought it was that Fimo at first. But I thought that was quite an unusual shape. And then this one I really like, and I'm not sure how to date it or where it's from. There we go. So it's metal, it's got these lovely pieces of red glass, faceted red glass, and then I like the patterns on there as well, like 2 crescent moons and these little kind of leaf shapes. So this looks quite old to me. However, when you turn it over, it's got a modern brooch set on the back. So I'm wondering if maybe this section is older and someone has just popped the brooch thing on the back there, possibly. I thought that was lovely. And then this was the last piece that I bought from her, which is actually a pendant. And I pick these up quite often. These are kind of ethnic, tribal, Indian, Tibetan style pendants, and they've got chips of stone or bone sometimes set in there inside, and then it's dyed, so it's dyed blue. So actually when I cleaned this, some of the blue lifted off, so you have to be careful. I just used like a wet wipe just to give it a clean on the surface. So I'll probably pop that on a chain or a rope and turn that into a necklace. These seem to sell quite well as well, so that's good. What else did we pick up? This cuff bracelet is lovely, and I picked it up because it's quite a statement piece. There we go. And if you know me, I love a cuff bangle. I actually collect cuff bangles. However, this one will be going for sale. So it's got this lovely kind of hammered pattern on the brass. It's nice and wide. And then this is being kind of, it's made to look like a gemstone, but it isn't. So it's some kind of, I don't know if it's plastic or resin or something, but it looks like a turquoise. And it is absolutely stunning. It's massive. So I was quite chuffed with that. I bought that from another stall. I think I got 3 pieces of jewellery from a lady for £6. So that wasn't too bad. But like I say, what I do is when I go to the car boots, I just add it all up and then split it across the items. You get an average. Now, talking of statement bangles, this is stunning. So this was in a basket and all the bangles were £1. And this just caught my eye straight away. Look how gorgeous that is. And it's a hinged clamper bangle, so it's got a nice strong hinge on it. There's no markings on there, so there's no brand or anything or designer. But I just love those colours, and it reminds me of you know when people went to prom and they used to get corsages, the big flower pieces that went around the wrist. You could almost kind of wear this as if it was one of those because it's so big. Absolutely stunning. So because that's more modern, I will pop that over on the eBay store. I need to do some work on that store and get some more stuff listed. Right, so I picked up a few more bangles. I have some bangles I need to pop on eBay, and I usually cluster them up. So this one is to just go with those. So it's just a kind of, it's got like, I think it's memory wire inside. I thought that was quite pretty, and I've got a similar one in blue, so I'm going to put those together and put them as a pair. That was 50p. This one has got beautiful elephants on there. I think this is silver plated, polished up, really nice. It's a lovely cuff. And then this one is just another kind of ethnic, tribally, Tibetan style cuff bangle. And this one actually inside, I'm not sure if the light will catch it, but you can just see there where the silver is worn away and the brass is showing underneath. So what you could do is, if you react to the metals, so for example, copper and brass tends to be like what's underneath if something is silver plated. So if someone has skin reacts to brass and they wore this, they're likely to get a reaction because it's actually showing through. But what you could do is you can buy wax for jewellery that you put a thin layer of the wax on and let that dry, and that provides a protective coating between the brass and your skin. So that's one option. Or you can buy like a varnish for jewellery as well, for metals, and you paint that on, and again that creates a clear barrier between the metal and your skin, so you don't get that reaction. So for example, with copper, you get like a horrible green mark on your skin, which isn't an allergic reaction, it's a reaction with the oils on your skin and the air as well. So yeah, it's not that you're allergic to it, it's just that it's a natural reaction. In fact, I had a question about the green marks on the skin from a lady who got in touch, and she said, will this make my skin green? And it made me think that's actually quite a common question when it comes to jewellery, metal jewellery. So I did pop a blog about this on the website, so if you are interested, please pop over there and have a read. It's quite interesting. And I've popped on there the different ways that you can prevent that happening as well. So as a jeweller, I often look for ways that I can make sure that that doesn't happen to people, because you know, if that happens to you for the first time, it's going to put you off wearing that piece, and I don't want that to happen. So I have a couple of different methods that I use. If it's a handmade method, what I really like is there's an option of putting like a fabric surface on the inside, so a piece of felt or a piece of leather or something that will create a barrier, but also it makes it a lot comfier against the skin as well. So I really like that method. Some older cuff bangles, you'll find they have like a green felt inside, which is a fantastic way of making them more comfortable, but also stopping that reaction. So that's probably what I'll do with this one. I'll probably coat the inside. So that's bangles. What else did we pick up? This was the only ring that I found. And this was in a lady, she was packing up because it was getting close to about 11 o'clock. I think it was running till 12. And a few people had been there since like, you know, 5 o'clock in the morning, so they were packing up. So this one is very, very similar to how this one is made. So it's got the brass settings and then it's got little chips of stone in there, but this time it's red. And then I like how it comes round to little points and they've joined it together. So that one would make a nice statement ring. It's quite chunky. And that was £1, so I was quite happy with that. Now I picked this up because it was unusual. I don't really know anything about it. I've looked it up and it's definitely handmade because other people make them. So it's a piece of ceramic that's been glazed, and then on the inside it's got glass with this kind of crackled effect. So it almost looks like water, as if kind of like water's gathered in like a shell or a pebble. It's absolutely beautiful. And then that's just on a little bit of cord and a chain. Like I said, I did look that up. The ones that I found, let's see if I can find how much they were selling for. I tried to write everything down so I wouldn't forget. Yes, large ceramic pendant. Right, okay. So these were selling online for between 15 and 30, depending on the size. People were making them in all different colours and shapes. So that was quite nice. That was a good find. I like anything, if you watch my channel, you'll know that I like anything a bit quirky and a little bit different. So that's what I tend to keep my eye out for. Now, this one is also ceramic, so it's like a porcelain, and it's got unfinished surface, so it feels kind of matte. There's no gloss or anything on here, but that pattern is a beautiful Celtic knotted pattern. Did look this one up as well, and I found some online where people had them and they had the original box as well. So with the original box, they were going for between £30 and £40, and they were by a brand. It was called Cornadia porcelain. That's what it said on the box. And they were just described as ceramic Celtic design brooches. Again, they was all kind of different shapes and sizes and different patterns. That's quite a large one. So I'll pop that over on the Etsy shop. Trying to keep my eye out for bracelets, because when I looked at my Etsy shop, I have tons of necklaces, but not very many bracelets. So this is similar to a set that I bought not long ago. So that is abalone shell, mother of pearl on the inside, the white. Nice stretchy bracelet. We're kind of coming towards the end of the summer now as well, so things like this would be ideal to sell now before we go into the winter months. I got this bracelet which reminded me of Damsel in a Dress, but it doesn't have a tag on it. There we go. So it's almost kind of like wire work. I thought that was really pretty, and it's got like an antique satin silver finish to it as well, and a nice hook fastening, and because that's more modern, that'll go over on the eBay shop. We have a little kitty cat. Thought that was quite sweet. that one's going to go to one side for the Witches Fair. So a little update, I've got booked in to do the Witches Fair, which is going to be the 1st of November at Hatfield Hall in Wakefield. So there's a golf course, and then in the middle of the golf course is an old building, an old hall, and that's where we're having the Witches Fair. There's plenty of parking, it's quite easy to find, and it's going to be bigger and better than last time, so I'm quite excited. So I'm already booked in, and I'm kind of keeping my eye out for gothic, witchy, kind of mystical, magical things that I can put to one side, because I'm going to have a smaller curated vintage section, and then the rest is going to be handmade. So I've already started making things as well. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll see some of the brooches that I've been making this week. I'm trying to get a head start before the winter sets in, which, to be fair, kind of the dark colder nights is ideal for jewellery making, but I'm doing 2 fairs this year, whereas last year I only did 1, so I need to make kind of twice the amount. Okay, so this is another kind of Tibetan style tribally necklace with a hook fastening, and I found these online selling new for £25 each. So this one will go over on the eBay shop. Nice big statement necklace. I picked these up because I have a small collection of these already, and I sell them as a lot, so I'll do a group of these together. So these are hair clips, vintage hair clips, the ones that pop. So that's got the lovely kind of root beer tortoise shell look to it. That one's got a nice engraved pattern on, like a floral design. And then that one I really liked because of the circles. Isn't that lovely? If I had long enough hair, I would wear stuff like this, but my hair's really thin and fine, so these kind of things just slip out really easy. But these were in a basket, and these were 3 for £1. So I already have a collection of about 12 of these. So that'll make 15, so that'll make a nice little lot for somebody that's interested in hair slides. Now this was from the Brooch Lady, and I picked this up. This is a jewel craft, and it's in amazing condition. That's one thing that I do look for. If it is signed, if it does have a brand or a name on there, designer name, then I do check the condition, because that is important. And this is immaculate. I love these articulated bits. It's like ribbon that's been knotted together, and then these are the ribbon sections dangling down. Beautiful. And this was selling online as well. I managed to find a couple of those on Etsy. So they were selling for, if I can find it, I can't read my own handwriting. Oh, between 15 and 22. So because mine is very, very good quality, it'll probably go in the 20 region, I think. These are the last couple of bits I picked up. So a lady had a stall with all baskets of different bits and bobs. She had some beautiful amethyst points, amethyst gemstones. I wish I picked one up. They were only £3 and they were huge. Although the car boot is still running, so I might have the opportunity to go next week, which would be nice before it closes for the winter. So she had lots of little bits of things in baskets, and I found this, and I found a little tiny turtle. My friend Debbie, who was helping me out at the fairs, she has one of those big old print trays that they used to keep the letters in on her wall, and then she puts little miniature items in there, like gemstones and little tiny figurines and things. So I'm always keeping my eyes peeled for her. So I got a little kind of turtley type thing. I put that to one side, and then I picked this up just because it was unusual. So it's a bird, not quite sure what kind of bird, and then it's got all kind of decorative hand carved patterning on. It's a very, very low grade silver, probably an 800, and the little pieces all together were only £1, so it was worth picking up. And that is yeah, one of the miniatures that I got. I just thought it was quirky. And I did find some similar on Etsy that were selling for like £30 each, so it wasn't a bad pickup. And then I picked these up from a lady who again was packing up. And to be fair, if you do get there when people are packing up towards the end, people are likely to kind of cut you a deal and give you things a little bit cheaper because they don't want to take it home, which is awesome. So I did a deal with this lady, got 3 pieces from her. But these are the ones that I particularly wanted. So these are enamel on copper. You probably just see the flashes of blue and pink on there. So they've got kind of they look like leaves coming off of a stem. I thought they were beautiful. And then on the same bit of stuff, there's some abalone shell circles as well, stud earrings. And that's another thing I realised when I did a little bit of a shop audit on Etsy. I found that I had lots of clip-on earrings, but not very many for pierced ears. And obviously there are lots of people with pierced ears like myself, so I've decided that I need to keep an eye out for more stud earrings and kind of earrings with ear wires as well, so I've got kind of more options for people. That's one thing you have to bear in mind when you're a vintage jewellery seller. You need to make sure that you purchase things that are not just your cup of tea, so you've got to keep an eye out for things that will appeal to other people. Sometimes I find things I think, oh God, I'd never wear that, but somebody else would absolutely love it. So yeah, you've got to kind of have a mix of things on there. So there we go. It was a really successful trip. I really enjoyed myself, actually. It was quite nice. At one point I met up with Mum and we had a wander together. She's a bit nervous about kind of wheeling and dealing with people, so I'm quite bold. I don't mind asking how much things are and then saying, you know, things like, if I was to buy a few things, would you do a deal? And, you know, if I bought 2 of these, would you do it for half price? That kind of stuff. I don't mind asking, because the worst thing is that they say no, and then you just have to decide for yourself, don't you, whether you want to buy it or not. And sometimes it's worth kind of walking away and coming back maybe towards the end and seeing if people are, you know, happy to drop the price. And Mum found some, there was a lot of knockoff stuff. So there was a lot of knockoff stalls where they were doing all fake stuff. And they had some slippers. So Mum loves those kind of like flip-flop slippers that you just slide your feet in. And they had some furry ones that were like peach fur that crossed over, and it had like, they were fake Louis Vuittons. And on them they had a sticker that said recommended retail price £140. So they caught her eye, and I was helping her choose what size, and they were down for £4 a pair. And I was trying to help her decide, and we were chatting to the fella, and she picked the size that she wanted, and then she said, would you take 3 for them? And the fella said, yep, I'll take 3. You're going to bankrupt me, but I'll take £3. And we had a bit of a laugh and a joke with him. So she was quite brave, actually. That's the first time that she's ever kind of wheeler-dealed. So that was fun to see. Yeah, it was really, really good. I think maybe, we haven't been this week, but we'll maybe go next week. I think it's probably going to be, where are we now? Coming towards the end of August, so it might be the last one. Sometimes they do run into September, but it depends on the weather. So I don't know if you can tell, but it's quite grey today, and the temperature's dropped a lot as well. So we shall see. Right, I am going to go sort all this jewellery out for listing, do some photographs, and it's a bank holiday weekend, so I hope you enjoy yourselves. It is meant to be sunnier tomorrow, so if you can get outside, get out in the sunshine and enjoy the weekend, and I shall see you next week.